Ladies and gentlemen, life doesn't hand out do-overs, but it does give us something better. A fresh start every single morning. The sun rises not just on a new day, but on a new you. You don't need to wait for January 1st, a new decade, or even next Monday. Today is your day. And if you use it right, it could be the first chapter in a brand new story. You see, life gets better when you get better. When you get the chance to start, when the team sees a new you, you see, life gets better when you get better. If you don't like who you were yesterday, don't drag that version into today. Make a decision to rewrite the script. That's the gift of life. We can grow, we can stretch, and we can become more than we were if we decide to. But here's the secret most people miss. Reinvention isn't one big leap. It's a series of small intentional steps. It's waking up and choosing different thoughts, different habits, and different reactions. The biggest transformation starts with the smallest shift. You don't need to change everything overnight. You just need to begin. Some people wait for permission to change. They want a sign, a voice, or someone to push them. But winners don't wait. They decide. They say enough is enough and get moving, ready or not. Let today be the day you walk away from what's dragging you down. Walk away from excuses, the blame game, and low expectations. You've got potential sleeping inside you. Wake it up. Do something new. Think a better thought. Take a different action. Reinvention doesn't mean you failed. It means you've grown. You're not abandoning who you were. You're upgrading it. Now, of course, it won't always be easy. Growth comes with resistance. But discomfort is the signal that you're on the edge of something greater. Comfort zones are where dreams go to die. Don't live there. Push the boundary, stretch the limits, and see what's possible. You don't need to have it all figured out. Just take the first step. Clarity comes from motion. Don't wait for the feeling. Move, and the feeling will follow. Remember, success is not something you chase. It's something you attract by becoming a better version of yourself. And you become that version, one choice, one habit, one day at a time. So here's the challenge. When you wake up tomorrow, don't reach for your phone first. Reach for your vision. Don't replay yesterday's defeats. Plan tomorrow's victories. Don't let the past define you. Let the future pull you forward. Every day is a new chance to reinvent yourself. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. The rest will unfold as you do. ChatGPT said, you don't need a new year, just a new decision. Some people wait for the calendar to flip to January before they consider making a change. They talk about New Year's resolutions, fresh starts, and turning points. But the truth is, you don't need fireworks or a countdown to start over. You don't need to wait for a new year. You just need to make a decision. One real, honest, powerful decision can change everything. A decision is far more powerful than a date. A date is just a number, but a decision is the beginning of transformation. It's the moment when your mind says, this is it. No more waiting. No more excuses. It's time. You don't have to shout it from the rooftops. You just have to mean it deep down. Down where excuses don't live. Down where your character is forged. Some people spend years trying to get ready to change. They gather information, watch motivational videos, read books, and wait for the right time. But here's the truth. There is no perfect time. There is no magical alignment of the stars. There is only now. The day you decide is the day your life begins to shift. You don't need more information. You need more determination. You don't need a ceremony. You need clarity. It's not about flipping your whole life upside down in one day. It's about that moment of resolve, that inner commitment where you say, I'm not going back. I'm moving forward. That one shift in your thinking begins to move the wheels. It starts in the mind, but if you stay with it, it moves to your habits, your speech, your attitude, and eventually your results. What holds most people back isn't lack of opportunity, it's hesitation. It's fear disguised as waiting for the right moment. But waiting doesn't make you stronger. Doing does. And the doing starts with deciding. The longer you wait to choose, the harder it becomes to act. But the sooner you decide, the sooner momentum works in your favor. And let's get one thing clear. A decision isn't a wish. A wish says, I hope things get better. A decision says, I will do what it takes to make it better. A wish lives in the clouds. A decision plants its feet in the ground and starts moving. A wish needs luck. A decision creates a plan. The most successful people aren't the luckiest. They're the most decisive. Think back over your life. Look at the turning points. I'll bet every major breakthrough you've had was born in a moment of decision. You decided to stop tolerating certain behaviors. You decided to get serious about your goals. You decided to step up, take responsibility, and act. That's the power of decision. It's the starting line of change. And the beautiful thing is this: you can decide again. It's not a one-time thing. Every morning you wake up, you get to decide who you will be today. Will you repeat yesterday's patterns or write a new script? Will you settle or will you stretch? That's the power you hold. That's the opportunity you have. Some people think they need a new job, a new relationship, or a new location to feel renewed. But external changes mean nothing if you haven't changed internally. The decision has to start on the inside. You bring yourself into every room you walk into. So change the you that shows up and watch how the world responds differently. Decide to grow. Decide to lead yourself before trying to lead others. Decide that excuses don't belong in your vocabulary anymore. Decide that your future matters more than your comfort. It doesn't require a massive crowd cheering you on. It doesn't require a holiday. It just requires a serious moment with yourself where you say, I've had enough of less and I'm ready for more. So don't wait for a new year. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for all the lights to turn green. Start with one small decision today. Decide to read a little more. Decide to speak a little kinder. Decide to move your body. Decide to stay consistent. These little decisions build up. They compound. And one day you'll look up and realize you've reinvented your life. Change doesn't begin when the world changes. It begins when you decide. And you can do that right now. You don't need a new year, just a new decision. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that success is some sudden, dramatic event. That one big break, that one golden opportunity, that overnight shift where everything finally clicks. But life doesn't usually work that way. Real change, lasting change, is almost never the result of one big moment. It's the result of small, consistent decisions repeated over time. The kind of actions that don't look like much in the moment, but compounded day after day, build a life you're proud of. You see, it's not the giant leap that changes your life. It's the faithful step you take every day when no one's watching. And while you may feel you are alone in this struggle, you are not, knowing at the time. You are stepping into a galaxy full of stars. The life in the fight, the moment, the struggle, refined, refine it, refused. It's all the small steps you take every day when no one's watching. You don't need to rewrite your entire story in one sitting. Just write a better sentence today. Then do it again tomorrow. That's how transformation works. Quietly, slowly, intentionally. A small change might be waking up 30 minutes earlier to plan your day. It doesn't sound impressive. It won't make headlines. But if you do it for the next 30 days, your clarity, your energy, and your productivity will shift. That tiny habit compounds. That's the secret most people miss. Compounding. Success compounds. Discipline compounds. So does laziness. So does neglect. You don't have to become a different person overnight. You just need to do one thing better today than you did yesterday. Read 10 pages. Make one follow-up call. Speak one kind word. Choose water over soda. Turn the TV off 10 minutes earlier. These actions seem small. So small they're easy to dismiss, but they're also the building blocks of a different life. The power is in their consistency. And consistency is where most people break down. Not because they're not capable, but because they're not patient. We live in a microwave world that wants crock-pot results. We want speed, but life rewards those who stay steady. Small changes don't produce instant fireworks, but they do create roots. And roots build resilience, and resilience leads to results. Most people underestimate the impact of doing the right thing for a long time. They want progress to show up with flashing lights. But transformation doesn't arrive with a parade. It arrives quietly, one habit at a time, one improved decision, one better morning, one wiser choice in a moment of weakness. Do that enough times, and you won't even recognize yourself a year from now. It's like planting a seed. You don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You water it. You tend to the soil. You give it light. You trust the process, and eventually, what was buried begins to break through. Your life is the same. You sow in discipline. You water with consistency. You expose yourself to the light of learning. And one day, you wake up, and the fruit is visible to everyone. Here's the truth. You don't rise to the level of your potential. You fall to the level of your habits. If your habits are rooted in discipline and intentionality, your life will naturally rise. But if your daily actions are careless, inconsistent, or based on comfort, your future will reflect that. Success is found in the details, and details are shaped daily. Think of someone you admire, a great leader, a powerful communicator, a strong parent. I guarantee they didn't become who they are from one decision. They became that way through 1,000 small choices. Showing up when it was hard, reading when they could have relaxed, preparing when others were distracted, listening when they could have talked. Small things done repeatedly created someone remarkable. The beautiful part is this: anyone can do it. You don't need to be the smartest, the fastest, or the most talented. You just need to be consistent. Do the right things every day, even when they're boring, even when they don't give you instant rewards, even when no one is clapping for you. That's how transformation is born. Not in noise, but in quiet discipline. So, if you want to change your life, don't look for the big, dramatic move. Look at your day. Look at your choices. Start small. Stay steady. And give it time. Because small changes, daily applied, lead to massive transformation. Not just in your results, but in who you become. And that's the greatest success of all. There's a danger that quietly follows people year after year. Not outside them, but inside. It's the invisible chain of the past. Some folks are not stuck because of their present situation. They're stuck because they keep dragging yesterday into today. They carry old failures like a badge. They replay old conversations. They live in regret and constantly remind themselves of who they used to be, what they didn't do, or how someone else wronged them. But friend, let me tell you something that can change your life. Your past is a classroom, not a prison. The past is supposed to teach you, not trap you. You've got to learn the lesson, take the wisdom, and walk away with freedom. You are not your mistakes. You are not your worst moment. You are not what someone else said about you. What you did is not who you are. You are who you choose to become today. But you've got to make that choice. Freedom isn't automatic. It's a decision. A decision to say, I'm done being held back by what I can't change. You see, what's behind you can't be erased, but it doesn't have to be repeated. You don't need to carry every scar like it's still bleeding. Some people keep scratching the same wounds and wonder why they never heal. The healing starts when you stop rehearsing the pain and start rewriting the future. It's easy to stay bitter. It's easy to stay stuck. It's easy to use your past as an excuse to not rise. But easy doesn't lead to excellence. You've got to rise above what happened to you. You've got to believe there's more ahead than there ever was behind. And you've got to trust that the only thing keeping you tied to the past is your grip on it, not its grip on you. You can't change what happened, but you can change the meaning you give it. Some people take a failure and call themselves a failure, but smart people take that same experience and say, that was my training ground. One person gets bitter, the other gets better. One stays trapped, the other breaks free. Same past, different mindset, different future, and let me tell you, there's power in forgiveness. Not just of others, but of yourself. Some people are good at forgiving others, but they keep punishing themselves over and over. And they wind up in the same hot mess they were punishing themselves in. Playing judge, jury, and jailer in their own minds. But if you can't forgive yourself, you can't free yourself. And if you don't free yourself, you'll keep living as a prisoner in a cell you locked from the inside. Now, I'm not saying the past didn't happen. I'm saying it doesn't have to keep happening. You've already lived it once. Don't live it twice in your mind. Learn what you need to learn. Then let go of what no longer serves you. Guilt has a short-term purpose. It can wake you up, but it was never meant to be your permanent address. You can't build a better tomorrow if you're always mourning yesterday. You've got to create distance between who you were and who you're becoming. People might try to remind you of the old you. Let them talk. Let them stay where they are. But you keep growing. You don't owe your past anything. You owe your future everything. Make the break. Choose growth over guilt. Choose freedom over fear. Choose responsibility over regret. And every time that old memory knocks at your door, trying to pull you back, just remind yourself, that's not me anymore. Because here's the truth. You get to decide who you are. Not your past, not your pain, not your failures, you. And every day you wake up, you get a brand new chance to prove it. So don't let your past become your prison. Walk out. Shut the door. Don't look back. You've got things to build, people to bless, goals to chase, and a life to live. The future is calling, but you can't answer if your heart is still stuck in yesterday. Freedom is available. The key is already in your hand. All that's left to do is use it. Most people get it backwards. They chase success like it's a prize out in the distance. They want the title, the income, the applause, the spotlight. They think if they just land the right job, make the right deal, or meet the right person, everything will change. But here's the truth. Success isn't something you pursue, it's something you attract. And you attract it by becoming the kind of person who deserves it. You see, success doesn't come first. Growth does. You've got to become more so you can handle more. Otherwise, even if you get success, you won't keep it. Life doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you're prepared for. And preparation happens in the quiet places where nobody's watching. It happens when you decide to develop your mind, your habits, your character. Some people want $1 million, but they haven't built the discipline to manage 100. Some want influence, but they haven't mastered integrity. Some want to lead others, but they haven't learned to lead themselves. That's why growth has to come first. Because who you are is what determines what you get. You don't grow into success accidentally. It's a process. It takes commitment. It takes showing up every day and getting just a little better than yesterday. Reading instead of scrolling. Listening instead of reacting. Practicing instead of coasting. That's growth. And the better you become, the more success will find its way to your doorstep. Don't envy the person who has more. Study them. Don't resent the one ahead. Learn from them. Success leaves clues, and most of those clues are tied to personal discipline, consistency, and a hunger to grow. Winners are not always the most talented. They're usually the most teachable, the most coachable, and the most willing to stretch. Ask yourself, what kind of person would naturally attract the kind of success you want? Then work on becoming that person. If you want to be trusted, become more trustworthy. If you want influence, deepen your wisdom. If you want greater opportunities, become someone who can be counted on. It's not about pretending, it's about developing. Day by day, bit by bit. Success is like a mirror. It reflects back the level of your preparation. If your thinking is shallow, your success will be short-lived. But if your roots run deep in discipline, humility, and hunger, you'll have something that lasts. You won't just get success, you'll grow into the kind of person who sustains it.